welcome. I'm going to do a reading today about does he or she find you physically attractive, and what we're going to do is we're going to, after the reading, look a little bit deeper into where the relationship may be going. So you've got 3 piles, and I'm going to draw a couple of cards each just for your energy at the moment in the relationship. So it's pile 1, pile 2, you at the bottom I think, and pile 3. So if you want to choose a pile, 1, 2, 3. When we get going. Okay, but pile number 1 for the pink ball. Up here. Right, so you're at the bottom. And I'll put them there. Okay, but what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use the astrology chart to put some cards around to find whether they find you physically attractive or sexually attractive. So I'm going to spread in each of the houses a card, and then I'm going to choose the cards from the houses that are seen as sexual or something a little bit deeper or relationship based, just to give me a bit more information. Right. Then I'll stick them all together. I may not pull all the cards out. Actually, I don't want to use those. I'm going to use those if I need them. Before we start, your energy is coming up as the star. So you could be Aquarius, or you could just be somebody who is quite spiritual, quite laid back, just very aware of people, how things work behind the scenes, very aware of society, where things have come from and where they're going. You like to look forward, you're probably very hopeful, you're probably very humanitarian, you're probably somebody who has a lot of friends, but you might keep yourself to yourself in some way. You might like to retreat to your home and need some me time. The person that you're asking about, whether they find you attractive, comes across as the Hierophant from this card at the moment. So it could be somebody who is either working in a traditional setting like a school or a big organisation, or could be a little bit older or just more orthodox. They could be somebody who likes rules, regulations, or just comes across as being very organised and almost being adept at life in those parts of life which are seen as being successful, where you tend to be a little bit successful inside yourself. You know where you're going and you know where you've come from. This person may in the outside world look successful, but you probably have more of an inner depth to you. Right, so if they find, let's have a look to see how they see you. They see you as, okay, these 2 cards together. So this is how they see you. This is your energy and this is you. Now these cards link really well together. They've got a sort of Mercury, Uranus energy around them. So to explain that, you come across as somebody who is original, somebody who, dances to the beat of their own drum. Is that the term? You're just somebody who is different. You're probably extremely good at communicating, and you just have a certain offbeat air about you. You probably smile a lot, laugh a lot, and like to play. You're probably somebody who, this is how they see you, somebody who has caught their eye for being different from the rest of the group. What else would you say from Mercury and Uranus together? You may talk fast. You definitely will choose a different path from other people, but that's probably what they find attractive about you, the fact that you are different. You're not one to basically sit in the herd and want to hide in the herd. You may be quiet and you may be one of those people that come up slowly from the inside lane, but you definitely want to be different, and this person sees you as different. That's quite, I'm going to go straight to the 8th house, because the 8th house has probably, I think, the strongest sexual undertone. So if you want to find out whether they find you physically attractive, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now this person, in order to understand how they see you physically or how they see you sexually, this person perceives you, I'm not saying this is you, this is how they perceive you, as somebody who has that slow, rumbling sexual energy, not somebody who, this is quite contradicts the way that you come across. So the way that you come across is quite original, almost a little bit feisty, cheeky, but your sexual energy that they pick up is different. It is somebody who is quite content and at ease with themselves, somebody who is probably not shy. If you think of Virgo, I think of Virgo people, they're not shy with their bodies. Everything just feels naturally. You can almost think of somebody like a nurse, or just somebody who is quite at ease with sex, quite at ease with themselves. They don't see sex as being something different from, I'm trying to say, everyday life. Your sexual energy to them is something that is natural. It's not sordid. It comes across as, if you haven't had, if you're not on terms where you have slept together, to them it wouldn't seem like a huge step, because it would just be something that would flow easily between you. Your energy comes out as quite young, so you almost have an innocence with this as well. They could have a feeling, if they've got the Hierophant that explains how they come across, and you've got the Knight of Pentacles and the Star, I would think that sexually they pick up the vibes that you are at ease with yourself, but there's almost like a need to protect you. There's almost like a pure feeling about you, like a purity, an openness. Right, I'm going to look a little bit further. I'm going to go into the 5th house. Okay, so you're quite a you're probably quite confusing to them, because your 5th house energy, and the 5th house is basically how you come across in love affairs. So how open you are to having love affairs, how you approach the person that you like, how you flirt. Basically, do you like falling in love? And the card you've got for here, you have got the 8 of Swords, which talks about slight anxiety. So it's almost as if you like this person picks up that in the initial stages, you're not so sure about what you two are doing together. You might give the impression that you've been hurt in the past, and it just isn't. You're just afraid, just dipping your toes in at the moment. They might be picking up that you're not ready to throw yourself into a relationship, almost as if there's a past hurt coming from you, or as if they need to walk softly around you. I think your natural disposition, though, is quite relaxed. Your natural disposition is quite sort of going with the flow in an almost easygoing, sort of laid back way, and your sexuality comes across as being quite open and pure. It's just as if it's quite natural, but the way that you come across in relationships and how you approach this person is quite reserved. I don't know why. There's just a feeling that you possibly could have been hurt. And to be totally honest, if they're coming across as the Hierophant, then that's not going to bother them, because they wouldn't want somebody who's too exuberant, because it wouldn't be in keeping with what they find normally attractive. This person might be quite Capricorn, quite Aries, just likes a traditional approach. Right. How you come across in the 7th house, which is the house of sort of how you approach longer term partners, or any partners really, but not so much in a love relationship. It's more of a more concrete marriage, or with regards to talking about sex and men, I would say a long term relationship. So they think that if you decided that they were going to be a long-term prospect, you wouldn't be shy to hide that part. You're tiptoeing around the initial stages of the relationship, but they don't think that you have a problem with relationships in general. If you met somebody you liked, I think that's when you would start communicating and everything would start speeding up. It's just you're very tentative about the initial stages, dipping your toes in to see whether they like you or not, which, to be honest, this person may be similar. I'm going to look at your 12th house now just to see, because this can, and your second house can sometimes talk about sexuality. Have a look at your 12th house. Okay, the 12th house is normally for like hidden things, which can be quite sexual. And to be honest, especially with the star here, and you've got the Knight of Cups, I don't really think there's that much hidden between you. I think that relationship is quite open. You may just be both single. I think a lot of time you can get readings where there's, somebody's taken and they want to see if somebody likes them. And I just think if you are basically holding yourself a bit back from this person, it's just inside yourself. You're just one of those people that reveal things slowly. If you are Aquarius, or you have Uranus or Aquarius heavily in your chart, or Mercury here, you could, especially the combination, you could be somebody who could be quite shy at times and just reveals themselves to close friends initially until they trust somebody, which is fine, and this person probably quite likes that. You could have, just looking at these cards here in your second house, you could possibly have just come out of a relationship or have a past relationship that might weigh a little bit heavily on you, and that might be why you're holding back a tiny bit in the first stages. Right, I'm not going to ramble on too much today because sometimes I think that I do like to have a good ramble. So I'm going to put these aside. So how they see you sexually, how they see you physically. To sum up, physically they see you as somebody who is in charge of themselves, larger than life, somebody who is original. You stick out from the crowd. To them, you seem different, and they find that attractive. Sexually, they see you as somebody who is in tune with themselves, somebody who is pure and open and who moves slowly and who has a sort of sexual attitude that is natural. There's a sort of earthy energy here as well with you. But their initial stages in your relationship might be slightly reserved from some you might have been hurt in the past. But they feel that once you get to know them, like the 7th house here, there's no secrets. Once you get to know somebody and trust somebody, that's when you start communicating and opening up. Right, I'm going to have a little look into what type of relationship, because I don't know if you are in a relationship or not, what type of relationship this could turn into. Or is, if you are together. And we can Right, this is quite funny because this person is coming across to me as the King of Pentacles. So this person, could actually be married, because you've got the Hierophant, which could indicate marriage, and the King of Pentacles is somebody who's settled, somebody who may have a family. If they're not married, it's just somebody who could possibly be older than you, more established, less of a free spirit than you, just somebody who could have a business or just be very sort of work-minded and a steady person. Your person's coming across as quite steady. But here again, we've got this sort of, I know this is the 9 of Swords, but in this pack it seems different to me. These two seem quite similar. This is the 8 and this is the 9. But your relationship is coming up with some type of anxiety. Normally the 9 of Swords is somebody who basically doesn't sleep because they're worrying. It's just, it's fear. It's thinking what's going to happen next and thinking ahead, and basically it's all a bit of doom and gloom. But the 8 is almost trapped by your own thoughts, in a similar way really. But this card here, to me, makes me think of this card, although different numbers. So what I'm trying to say is your relationship, I can't speak, I've had coffee, your relationship comes across as you possibly are attracted to somebody who may be older than you or may have this established energy around them where they are quite confident, quite steady, and quite sensible. But there's an anxiety around it, as if one of you or both of you can't move towards each other, although that you make each other feel good. You make each other feel attractive. You recognise there's something that you both like in each other, and it makes you feel, you know, when you sort of just feel good about yourselves. Let me put a few more cards on here. What type of relationship are we looking at here? Yeah, once again now, I think that this person finds you very attractive. This man is, I think it's a man. I don't know why I'm saying man, because I know, you know, it could be woman, but to me it feels like a man. This man wants to offer you something emotionally, but there's still, you two feel to me as if you are, you can't move. I don't know why. It's almost as if something sneaky needs to be done for you two to get together, and there's some sort of anxiety between the pair of you. The attraction is there, but there's also sort of, you are, is the word impasse, where you can't move. You'll see this card here, where there's tension, you can't move forward, you can't move backwards. Can't really see that much about the relationship apart from there, but this man, established man, wants to make an emotional offer to you, sees you basically as a free spirit. You might have some sort of bohemian air about you. You may be into tarot, well, maybe tarot cards. You might be quite spiritual. The way you dress may be quite free-flowing and easy. You might just basically one of those love children aura about you. They come across as quite different. They come across as quite traditional, to be honest, and that's what they find so sexually attractive. They find that you match them in a sexual arena. The fact that you take it seriously but naturally. Right, I'm going to finish there, pal, and I hope that makes sense to you. And if I've, you know, hit anything there that does actually ring true, could you mention the comments, because it does actually, it's interesting for me to know. And good luck. Thank you for listening. Hi, pal number 2. Thank you for joining me today. Let's have a look at whether this person finds you physically or sexually attractive. You at the bottom, aren't you? So you are here. Oh, my lordy. And they are here. Okay, let's put the cards out first before we discuss what on earth you have on your mind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the astrology chart around here to find out where the cards fall on the sexual houses. Then I'm going to pull out certain cards just to do with physical attraction or sexual attraction to see how they see you. I may not pull them all over unless a question comes up, and then at the end we'll look at your relationship. Okay, let's have a look for you. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Right, first off, you're coming across as the devil. Yeah, that's right, wasn't it? Because you're underneath. You're coming across as the devil, so you're coming across as somebody who is probably quite uncomfortably attractive to them. They are coming across as the hangman, as somebody who is trying really hard to think about things and to basically approach the situation logically with a wider perspective. But you're coming across as there's a sort of a sexual vibe about you, a sexual pull. Let's pull, oh my gosh, yes, okay, let's pull the cards over. I'm just going to go. As you've got the King of Wands there, now I'll pull over the 5th house in a minute, but you've come across as the devil and the King of King of Wands. Excuse me, I've been drinking coffee. The King of Wands. So they see you as being feisty. They see you as being in charge of yourself, and there is a strong sexual pull. They probably think that you are highly sexed, and that you might match them in some way. They definitely think that you are confident. They definitely think that you are a person who's in charge of yourself. You may be somebody who's quite astute in business, or somebody who's creative, or just somebody who likes to organise people. You're not afraid to speak up. You are outgoing and you give out, you are more of a radiator than a drain. You have a lot of energy around you, you're probably very warm, but there is definitely a sexual feel about you, and they pick that up. I don't know how well you know each other, but there's almost intensity to you that I'm not going to look at fifth actually. After saying that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, all right, right, okay. In contrast to this, the energy that you give out when they first meet you is sexual and it is highly charged. But they think that there's an underlying innocence to how you. I'm not going to say all talk and trousers, but there's a contradiction here. Your energy comes off as very sexual, your energy comes off as very confident. But I think that deep down they see an innocence inside you, and it's almost as a bit like pile number one, a need to protect you. It's almost as if there's like a childlike openness to you, and they feel as if they need to work with you practically or walk towards you in slow, small steps. This is very, very similar to pile number one. There's this sort of purity to you. Sorry, I'm thinking here. I think that you come across as they may see you with friends, they may see you in a large group of people where you are laughing and joking, or you're very sort of, you're a fun person. You could be the person that likes to go out in groups and drink and have a really good time. And they may think that you're more experienced than them. They may think that you have a lot of sexual experience, but there's also an underlying sort of innocence to you, as if they think that they feel like they want to nurture you, and they feel like there's a vulnerability to you, a sexual vulnerability to you, which is probably what they find very attractive. And this person to me strikes me as being a thinker. It wouldn't surprise me if you catch this person watching you, or basically just looking at you, and you are in the full mode of being fun and silly, and that you just turn around and find them looking at you. They are thinking and they are trying to weigh you up. They can see that you are naturally open, and they can see that you like a good time, but they also can see there's also something quite childlike about you. Yeah, I think I've just turned over your card here for the fifth house, and the fifth house is like love affairs, how easily you fall in love, how you come across to people, when you basically attracted to them, and you're not the type of person to hide this. There are sexual rumblings there. They can see that you're quite sexual, but there's also an openness to you, and it's as if when you like somebody, you let them know. You like to communicate. You are fast, and you basically you're spontaneous. You're not one to hide if you want somebody. In the initial stages, if you find somebody attractive, you'll be quite happy to let them know. This person might be slightly more reserved than you, and I think this person may be sexually more reserved than you. And I think they quite like the fact that they can pick up a sort of a vulnerability and an innocence about you. Third house, okay. Yeah, the secret. There's like the 12th house here is like hidden things or secrets, and if to me, I've just dropped a con. It's bugging me. Excuse me. To me, I get the general impression that they're slightly scared of you. They see you as being assertive and a big sort of, you've got this sort of big boss energy about you, as if you might be in a position in life where you tell quite a few people what to do. You just, you're not scared of taking control, and they might feel this from you, and they might be. I'm getting a sort of Aquarius feel about this person, where they like to watch, they like to work things out until they feel sure, and then they will move towards you. where you are probably quite much more confident than them. But they have spotted something slightly vulnerable about you, and that's what they find attractive. That's why they find you physically attractive or sexually attractive, because of this sounds awful, but the holes in your personality, the bits where you basically glide through life and they see you laughing with your friends, they see you in work, and they see that you're competent, but they can sense a slight vulnerability, and that's the bit that attracts them. Your openness, they can see all that. They can see that you are, you're basically a fun-loving person, but the thing that attracts them to you is the bits that you probably wouldn't be aware of. You're quite a sexual person. You might have a high sex drive. Okay. I think that this person may also believe that you could be long-term material, because you've got their Hierophant in the 7th house here, so they probably have picked up that even though you have this fun-loving energy, you also could be somebody who either you are in a relationship, either you are married, or you're somebody who accepts marriage as a way forward. Somebody who probably quite looks forward to being settled and being married, and because this is quite an orthodox card, which obviously can say marriage, and that's in the 7th house. Right, I'm just going to have a little look at your relationship, where it's heading. Okay, what I think is that I don't think that you're together at the moment. I think that one of you has walked away and is basically pulled out of the relationship, and this relationship is going to kick off again. There's a strong physical pull between the pair of you, but I don't think you're together at the moment, because this card here, you've got the 8 of Cups, which is basically, you can see from the card, is walking away from a situation. And you've also got the 4 of Swords, which is resting, recuperating. I don't know if you've fallen out, but that's what it looks like to me. Let me just put another load on here, another 3. Yeah, I think you've fallen out. From these cards here, now there is a sexual attraction between the pair. You've got the Ace of Rods, which is the Ace of Wands, but you've got here, this is your relationship. You've got the 8 of Cups walking away. You've got the 4 of Swords, which is resting and recuperating from something. You've got, this is another travelling away card. So you've got the 6 of Swords. So this is like movement away. And you've got the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Swords. They're looking opposite ways from each other. I think your person may be airy, as in they could have strong Gemini or Aquarius or Libra in their chart. You could be fiery and watery at the same time. So you possibly could have had some sort of relationship that started off, and it started off well, because you've got this sort of communication on the 5th house, which is how you approach relationships. But I don't think you're together at the moment, and this person is still drawn towards your innocence. So to answer the question, do they find you physically attractive? They can see that everybody else finds you physically attractive, but the things that everybody else finds attractive about you is not what they find attractive. I think they find you attractive because of your innocence, because of the way that you are open in love relationships, because of the way that you're probably quite confident sexually, and there is a strong sexual pull between you, and that's what they find attractive. It's almost like your childlike qualities that they find attractive. Right, pile number 2. I'm going to finish there. I hope that helps. But I don't think that you're together at the moment. I don't know. There's some sort of distance there. Anyway, good luck. And if any of this rings true, let me know in the comments so that I have some idea. because it's interesting to me to know what actually is true or not, or what actually, you know, hits a note with you. Okay, right, pile 2, thank you for listening, and goodbye. Hi there, pile number 3. Let's have a look whether they find you physically attractive or sexually attractive. Now, you are going to be the card underneath, so is your star of this. Let's put you in the centre. Okay, and they're going to be over here. Right. I'm not going to say anything. I was just about to. I'm going to contain myself. No, I can't contain myself. You're coming across as justice, which is basically somebody who is quite balanced, somebody who has probably a Venus in their chart, so you could be Libra, could have Taurus in there, somebody who enjoys beauty, you could be designer, you could be into fashion, you could just wear your clothes well, you could be interested in makeup and hair, or just somebody that is seen as attractive and put together. There could be some sort of design element or artistic element about you, or you could be basically just be a mother. But you're the type of person that people come to when they need to know how to decide about something correctly, to make a good moral judgment. It's probably something that's very important to you. To me, you're the type of person that people, when you're in, is it ringing a bell? When you're in college and your friends decide to skype a day off work, they will come to you to do the phone call because you're very diplomatic. You're the type of person who knows how to put words together and make people feel good. They're coming across as the Chariot, so they're probably quite feisty, they probably like a challenge, they're probably very in control of themselves. Bit of a champion sort of energy coming here. But let's put some more cards out and get some more information. I'm just going to go around the whole of the chart, and I'm going, the different houses have different messages, for want of a better word. And so I'm just going to pull out the sexual or the physical houses to begin with. I won't pull them all out, and then we'll sort of sum up your relationship. So let's have a look. Oh, bless. Okay, so this person sees you as, I mean, the card, how you come across physically, your physical appearance to them is like a wish come true. And these are like emotional feelings. So emotionally, when they're with you or when they see you, they feel as if you are what they ultimately could wished for. If you have a physical ideal, or if they have a physical ideal, you basically tick every box. And I think this is really interesting because, especially if you're interested in astrology, if you look, say, at a man's Venus sign, in a woman it's different. And, you know, that's why a lot of girls and boys wander around thinking whether they're attractive. But when you look at somebody's Venus sign, it never seems to fail. And you basically find that so many people find so different things attractive. For instance, if your man has, that you're looking at, or your woman, actually I'm just talking about men to be honest this time, has a Venus in Aries, the type of girl that they will find attractive is forward and feisty and basically takes charge. But with a Cancer Venus, the same, you know, a man would just find somebody who's comforting, attractive, somebody who is womanly, who is homely. So you can never, you know, don't change yourself because you're just going to attract the right person. But what I'm trying to say, what I'm rambling on about there is, I would find out this person's Venus sign if it's a man, and I bet you have something important in your chart that is the same, because whatever this person finds attractive, they see it in you. They feel as if they've hit the jackpot. Physically, the way that you look, you know, first impressions, when you walk through a door, when they see you, the way you put your clothes together, the way that your face is put together, you know, your hair, whether you wear glasses or not, you basically tick every box on what they find attractive. If they could draw their dream girl or dream man, whoever we're talking about here, it would be you. Right, let's have a look. And you've also got the Justice here, which is Venus. So I've got a funny feeling that a lot of people find you attractive. You're probably one of those people, just the way that you move, just the way that you put your words together, you know, you're just one of those people that a lot of people find attractive. Right, let's have a look at 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my gosh. Okay, sexually now, this is interesting. Sexually, you have made a huge impact on them, and it's making them uncomfortable. There is something about you physically or that they find uncomfortably attractive. If it's not how they this could have more of a story behind it than just how they see you, because this card's really strong. And this card, the Scorpio, the 8th house, is the house of sex, and you've got the Tower here. So they see you as somebody who has blown their world apart in a sexual way. And it could have a story behind it. It could be something that you might have slept together and it's basically caused a whole ruckus in their life for some other reasons that I don't know about. Or it's just, if it's attraction, it is huge. If you haven't slept together, or there's no sort of complete disaster that you two have set off together because of your attraction, it's just that they find you. With these two cards here, you've got the Tower in the sex 8th house. You've got how they see you physically as a wish come true card. You've got the Justice, which is beauty. So this person is, I bet, is extremely nervous around you. If they're very confident, and they could be quite confident actually, because you've got the Chariot here. And either way, that they might be the type of person who is quite sexually orientated and is enjoying the fact that this relationship is a strong sexual pull. Okay, I've just turned over the card here for the 5th house. And the 5th house is how you basically approach relationships. It's how you fall in love. And it's what you give when you fall in love. It's how open you are in the initial stages of love. And you here have got the 5 of Cups, which is as if you've lost something. As if they're picking up from you that you've lost something. Emotionally, you could have come out of a relationship and almost have taken a little knocking. Is that right? I'm trying to sound rude there. It has knocked you a bit. You could have had a past relationship that's taken the wind out of your sails. That's better. You may not be so forthcoming in the way that you are approaching them. They may feel that you're a little bit vulnerable, or that you're not as forward as you possibly are with other people in the initial stages of the relationship. Something's happened between you two. I don't know if it is sexual or there's just the relationship. If you haven't had a sexual relationship, it could be basically that the thought of it could be flipping it. Sorry, I've had coffee. It could make a momentous moment. Can't think of the words there. It's a game changer. The sexual pull to you, or the fact that if you did have sex, could be a game changer in their life. Right. They see you. You've got the Ace of Cups in the 7th house. The 7th house is long-term relationships. It's somebody who you may want to partner up with, as a long-term marriage partner, or whatever you perceive as a long-term relationship. This person sees you as their ideal long-term partner. You seem to have had a huge impact on this person. Out of the 3 piles, this is the pile that feels as if this person's trying to control themselves because of the way that you come across to them. It's almost as if there might be too much attraction, too much sexual excitement in here. You seem really cool with the whole thing. You just seem really laid back, as if you're quite used to people getting flustered and fancying you, which is nice. They're coming across as trying to control themselves. You've got sexual pull. They possibly would see you as the ideal long-term partner, and physically you are their ideal. I'm too scared to pull any more cards over just in case you get a bad one after this. Okay. In the 12th house, this isn't so much a sexual power, but it's one I wanted to turn over anyway. You've got this sort of feeling, if there are any secrets between you, I'm going to say here, if there are any secrets about you, you haven't talked about them, or you have talked about them. I can't tell. gives me a strange feeling. So this, of something having ended, and I don't know whether it's, this is how they see you. Have you just come out of a relationship and it's still something that's quite, you're both quite aware of? Or something around you has finished, and it's almost as if you're not giving your whole self to the initial stages of this relationship because you're almost pulling yourself together from something that's ended. It may not be a relationship, it may be something in work, it may be something family orientated, not sure. I'm just picking that up because you've got the second house here, you've got an ending, and the fifth house, how you come across when you fall in love, is basically as if you've lost something. There's a slight sadness about you where you're not actually being your open self. Your open self, what am I talking about? Okay, let's have a quick look. This is okay, 12th house, work, working together. Okay, I'm picking up a feeling, and this won't apply to everybody, that there may be, it could be that they're attracted to you, and there's a work situation going on, or there's a feeling that you have vulnerability about you, that's you may have been hurt in the past. These are pentacle cards, so they're like work based. There's a strong need to start off fresh. To start afresh, to put, because you've got this where you're putting something emotional behind you, you've got an ending here, and here the things that are hidden, so you're not communicating something, and it's something to do with either a work situation where you feel as if you've been left out, or you haven't fit in somewhere, or you've not felt loved, and you really want to make a fresh start. I don't know if that makes sense. That's not totally clear to me, to be honest. And I don't want to get too much away from the fact that how they see you physically. So that's a sideline there. Hidden communication, work situation, working towards something, possibly working together towards something, feeling as if you've been shut out, but wanting to make a fresh new start. That's the sideline. Let's get back to you anyway. Let's get back to the exciting stuff. I'm going to start pulling some cards here for your relationship in general at the moment. So as soon as this person obviously finds you sexually and physically attractive in a very strong way, let's see where you two are at. It might actually bring to light these unusual cards at the side. Okay, you've got the Death card twice. Oh no, hold on, you've got the Death card once, and you've got the Ten of Swords twice. So, and you've got the Queen of Pentacles. You possibly, with the Queen of Pentacles here, have come out of a marriage, or something has ended with you and you are picking up the pieces. And they feel very attracted to you. The fact it's difficult for them to contain, but they may feel that, yeah, I'm getting this feeling that you are basically getting your feet on the ground and they don't want to come charging in quite yet. I don't know if this... There could be somebody around you that you have been in a past relationship with. You could have children. You could have a strong person around you who is quite authoritarian. There's like, they may be younger than your last partner or younger than you. They feel that this person who's got their eye on you is somebody who has got quite a strong will, but they almost feel as if they're just watching and waiting until you're ready. I don't know how much of that rings true. If it does, let me know. But you have definitely got ending cards here. You've got death. You've got the ten of swords twice. You've got quite a few people, including children, involved here, and sort of a strong man who is very much in charge of himself. And your love, the way you approach love relationships is quite tentative, but the attraction is huge. Physical attraction and sexual attraction, and what they want from you long term. Right, pile number 3. I'm going to finish it there for you. Please let me know if any of this rings true for you, and good luck. If you have come out of a relationship and you're getting your feet back on the ground, this person senses it and is restraining themselves, but they're finding it difficult. So I hope all goes well with you, and thank you for watching. Bye.